Stream is live now because I don't have that count in or cheesy lead in thing going on. So we'll start the stream, let a few people join, let people see that it's up and running.
Sure.
I'll share it on the Facebook. We'll cue the music. We'll talk about these albums and Linkin Park's Hybrid Theory that everybody loves.
A lot of people do.
Not I, buddy.
No, I don't either.
They were good live, though. They were good live. No denying it. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. I didn't mean to do that. I just want to share this. I just want to share it. Welcome to anyone watching. We're going to start the show here in just a minute. We're going to start this show. All right. Talking about our favorite live albums. Or our favorite albums. I shouldn't say live. That'd just be Kiss. Kiss Live.
Yeah.
Best album.
Oh, man.
All right, live now. Da-da-da-da-da. And here we go. Hopefully I get... Oh, whoever was viewing just left. They're like, piss on this. This show is terrible. And you would be correct. You would be right. All right. I suppose they'll come when they come. That's what she said.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. God bless her.
Yeah.
All right. Muting mics. Doing lead in. Thanks for joining a couple of 90s kids. You're listening to Stuck in My Generation. The call of the wild. A bunch of albums that we love. That's what tonight is.
Oh, man.
This stream looks funky, man. I look like I could just reach over and fucking eat your ass right now. Not like eat your ass, but eat you whole. I look a lot bigger. Like fee, fi, fo, fum. I look like I'm young, dumb, and full of cum.
You look like a giant Jim Jeffries.
I do. Somebody said that.
That's why I said that.
Okay, good. I was
Yeah.
about to say, do I really look like this motherfucker?
I don't think you do.
I saw the slightest little resemblance, I guess, but
Just a tiny
I
bit.
saw, yeah, somebody said that, and I was like, who the fuck's Jim Jeffries? I didn't know who he was. I looked him
Yeah.
up. I was like, yeah, okay, I kind of see that. I got this fucking weird nose, this pointy little fucking Pinocchio nose and shit, so I get it. But welcome back to Stuck in My Generation. Hopefully you're watching live. That way you can tell us some of your favorite albums.
Sure.
Like my good dude Porkman, who said Usher's Confessions was his top album of all time.
To each their own,
To
man.
each their own. That's not going to be in my top 10. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Usher's Confessions not going to be in there. Never was much of an R&B guy. Rap, yes. R&B,
Yeah.
no. Just not a fan. But this process was hard.
Oh, man. I'm still stressed over it.
Me too.
And I don't think I would ever be happy with my list. I got to the point where it's just pencils down, walk away from it.
Yeah, it's a long-term thing. It's
Yeah.
a constantly updating. Like if I could look at every album I've ever listened to more than once, or maybe more than 5 times, because I'm sure there's some I forgot about that I was like, God, this is so good, and then later on I just forgot about it. But man, how does one remember at our age all the albums they've listened to and what their favorites are? Like I've got 40 down
Yeah.
that I love,
Sure.
but I guarantee there's 40 I forgot about
Oh,
and
there's-
couldn't find in my archives.
There's a lot that I forgot about.
But we do the best we can. We wanted to take it easy, not listen to a whole bunch of albums by one artist, but instead talk about the albums we love and that we grew up with, and wanted to get some feedback from everybody who follows or listens or watches and find out what they liked as well. So
Yeah.
I'm going to preface this whole episode by we are going to have a top 10, like our top 10 favorite albums. Not that anybody gives a fuck, but we're going to talk about our top 10. But I don't want to put too much emphasis on that because, like I said, and like Hicks agreed, there's no way we found them all.
No.
Not a chance.
I know that I left stuff out.
Yeah.
I approached this like I had like 20 minutes to hop on a space shuttle. I had to to leave Earth, if I had all these albums in front of me,
If you're with Elon,
if I could grab Elon says, get your ass, get your shit, and let's get out of here. And I had just a few minutes to grab 10 albums.
right.
These are the 10 albums that I would grab.
Have your Tesla bot grab 10 albums and meet me in the ship.
Yeah.
We're going for a while.
Yeah.
What are you bringing? And that's a good way to look at it. And that's, Phipps just said, favorite System of a Down. It's Toxicity for me because it's top to bottom. Just
I agree with that.
top to bottom. I mean, I love them all. I love all
Yeah.
of System of a Down's albums. Spoiler alert, none of them are on my lists.
I'd like to say Toxicity is not in my top 10, but I had Toxicity as a runner-up.
As an honorable mention or
love
something like
that.
that. Me too. I don't have
Yeah.
it in there, though. I actually think I have 40 albums I love more. Not that I'm going to talk about all 40 in depth, but yeah, Toxicity is up there. Self-Titled is up there. Self-Titled's the first one I heard. Like I was very proud because I was a pretentious little bastard growing up, but I was very proud when I discovered System of a Down and Toxicity wasn't released. It was the Self-Titled album, and I was like, I just found some real shit.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show everyone, and everyone I showed was just like, this is crazy. I like it. And I was like, it's real crazy. It's
Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, Toxicity's probably my favorite, just because top to bottom, it wouldn't be the one I listen to the most. That's a funny thing you learn throughout this too.
Yeah.
There's a couple albums in my top 10 that I barely ever listened to, but it's because I wore them out growing up.
Sure. I
But
understand that.
they still deserve a place
Sure.
in my top 10 because after going through all these albums that I love, I was like, how can I possibly put this here when I listened to this 500 times from
Yeah.
the time I was 12 to 30?
Yeah.
Like, just because I'm sick of it now doesn't mean I don't think it's brilliant.
Sure.
So I was very surprised at my own top 10 list. But
Okay.
yeah, System of a Down, definitely the only 2000 on, as far as years go, band that I think is really, really relevant in rock to me, honestly.
Mhm.
Not a lot of post
Oh, yeah.
2000 bands. A lot of folks like Linkin Park. That wasn't me.
Yeah.
I
not a
kind of
big
gave up
fan.
on rock a little after 2000, but System of a Down held the torch a little longer.
And System of a Down, I mean, they're in a category of their own.
They are.
Name another band that sounds like System
There's
of a
not.
Down. Or
There's
it's
not.
just- yeah.
I mean, maybe there is, and we haven't heard them, but any band that's like,
I don't know them.
like, this is the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life, and somehow it works. Like, it shouldn't. You
It
should listen to it
should.
and be like, what's this fucking garbage?
Yeah.
Like, what is this mumbled mess of a song? But it's not. Like,
It
somehow
works.
it works.
Sure.
It is controlled chaos somehow.
Exactly.
Feel free, if you're watching, to let us know while you're watching what some of your favorite albums are. You're probably going to hear like some of the suggestions I saw on Facebook, not suggestions, but like albums people loved. I was like, I don't want to tell them, but I got that in my honorable mentions at least, or top 10.
Sure.
And it's exciting to do so. What should we do first, Hicks? Should we shout out some of the, I figure we would wait till last to shout out the kind of commented albums we got, because I hate to talk about the albums people dropped in the comments,
Sure.
only to have to talk about them again. So I would like to, I think the best course of action is to talk about our favorite albums, eventually get to the top 10.
Sure.
Carl Alcorn, what's up, Carl? Says Dre the Chronic, still jam it, and Bone Thugs. I didn't get it into Bone Thugs, but Dre the Chronic, absolutely.
Can I get into my honorable mentions right now?
I'm ready to go.
Since I'm going to
But I want to finish that thought. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
We will
please.
talk about all the commented pre-show albums after we've done everything, just to be like, so-and-so had them, and as you know, they were in our honorable mentions or top 10, blah, blah, blah. Have at it, Hicks. Honorable mention number 1. A lot of albums going to be discussed in short form before the top 10.
I'm going to say Dr. Dre the Chronic.
Yeah.
I love that album, and it's my wife and I both agree on that album.
That's a big thing.
Well, that's a big thing for us because we disagree a lot when it comes to music. We don't have very much in common at all when it comes to
She's
music.
more death metal, you're more John Denver.
She's that black death metal, that Swedish. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we both, when Dre the Chronic, we hear anything from that, we both just shut up. And it's one of those albums, you've mentioned it before, it's you don't have to think.
No.
It's just a mindless.
I never listened to it much.
Okay.
My wife loves it.
I love it so much.
I
It's just
need
so,
to.
yeah, it's good. It's good shit. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Who mentioned that?
Carl Alcorn.
Carl Alcorn. Yeah, that's a.
Went to school with Carl. Went
Okay.
to dances with Carl. Good times with Carl.
Good.
Yeah, I'll throw an honorable mention out there.
Please.
I'm going to start. I guess I'm just going to start from the bottom on the way up.
Okay.
Not many people are going to have this one, but Mastodon's Blood Mountain.
Okay.
I love that album. I love Mastodon. I love stoner rock. I love that chugging, grungy sound. And this album, Capillion Crest, to be specific, has just got some of the most wicked guitar grooves and solos I've ever heard in my life. And that album to me is top to bottom brilliant. That's all I'll say about it because we got a lot of honorable mentions. Have at it with the next.
I need to know more about Mastodon.
They're bad as hell. Like it's
Yeah.
just so good. It's like the perfect blend of stoner rock. Think like Queens of the Stone Age, Tool, like chugging
Yeah.
with a little heavier vocal style, but not. I want to eat your cat. None of that. Like it's
Yeah.
not really any of that. Like they've got the drummer sings in a higher harmony, the other guy sings, and they're a good band. They're an underrated. It's like heavy as shit, but not diving into that can't understand you motherfucker
Right.
range that my buddy Neil loves.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I'm with the Mastodon, the one of the guys, the tattoo
Right.
on his face. I don't know his name.
Arrows on his head. Or something.
I don't mean
I
to
don't
be
know their names
disrespectful.
either.
Man, I think I may have sent you a video of him promoting his signature amplifier.
You did,
Orange
yes.
amplifier.
And
And
they're crazy
he's
as hell.
so funny.
Yeah.
And man, I like to know more about them.
Good band, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, every album's just a journey, dude. Like
Yeah.
they've got some of those 7, 8, 9 minute long songs that
I
are
like
just
that.
there's just the tempo changes all the time, but sometimes it's straightforward, just melt your ears.
Yeah.
What's next on your honorable mentions?
Nirvana Unplugged.
God, why'd you have to mention that one so early?
I had to.
Damn.
That's an honorable mention.
All right.
That was a runner up. It was initially in my top 10, and I pulled it from my top 10.
Dang.
Yeah, such a good album.
It is.
I love it.
It is.
The Man Who Sold the World. I mean, it's an album that I can listen to all the way through over
Yeah.
and over. It's just really good.
I agree.
Yeah. What you got next for honorable mention?
I get some weird side eye shit when I mention this album, but Kings of Leon Only by Night, which
Okay.
is the album that has Your Sex is on Fire.
Yeah,
and you know, I wanna use somebody. Those two
Yeah.
singles are solid,
Yeah.
but the rest of the album is better.
You saw them live, didn't you?
Yeah, good show. I
That's what
like
I
them a
thought.
lot. They've got this spacey kind of weird sound
Yeah.
that I can't quite explain how they make it. Like it's a really weird sound. Now, granted, their last album was terrible. The one before that wasn't that. They've kind of gotten worse to me.
Yeah.
But there's a couple albums when they first got big that I think are just really good. And Only by Night, which my buddy Aubrey that I used to work with introduced me to this album, and I was like, God, I didn't know I like these guys, but I do.
Okay.
The opening track specifically just has this spacey like
Yeah.
I shouldn't be trying to emulate music,
That's all right.
but it just has a really spacey, cool sound. And it's really good to fuck to, too. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
What's your next honorable mention?
I'm going to say the Stones' Sticky Fingers. Brown Sugar. Can't You Hear Me Knocking is one of my probably top 5 Stones songs. Bitch was on this album.
Yeah,
Just a very good album.
it is a good album. It's a very good album. One of my wife's all-time favorites. I don't have it in my honorable mentions or anything,
Uh-huh.
but I was at some point going to say you could basically put Let It Bleed, Beggar's Banquet, Exile on Main Street, Sticky Fingers. All those could go in my honorable mentions because
Yeah.
they're all really good albums.
Sure.
I was
sure.
just listening to Let It Bleed Friday.
Sure,
like just
yeah.
all kind of all day thing. Let It Bleed and Exile on Main Street back and forth.
Sure.
Yeah, can't go wrong with those.
Yeah. What you got next?
Next honorable mention, I'm throwing out some of the unknowns, so feel free to go check these out. There's a band called Thrice. The lead singer, his name is Dustin Kinsrew, and his album Please Come Home, which is mostly acoustic, is wonderful. Like, wonderful, wonderful. I probably listened to it hundreds of times. I've seen him live, one of the best live shows I've ever seen. It's Dustin Kinsrew, Please Come Home, one of my all-time favorite albums. It's good shit. It's kind of folky Americana, but he's got this really cool, gravelly voice that just draws you in.
Yeah.
Definitely one of my tops of all time.
Good.
Have at her.
The Dead Kennedys, Give Me Convenience.
Yes.
Oh my God, I love that album.
Yes.
Ever since I don't know how, I used to mow grass as a young teenager, and I wore this album out.
Well, I am going to try not to mention this second time. I'll just follow you up.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, Dead Kennedys, Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables is on my list.
Okay.
It's the one with Uber Alice.
Uber Out. What a good song.
Fuck, it's one of the best punk songs I've ever heard.
I think the Give Me Convenience was it wasn't a greatest hits, but it wasn't a collaboration. It was just a lot of albums mixed into one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
California, Uber Alice, Too Drunk to Fuck, I Fought the Law.
Yep.
Just a lot of good. So I don't know enough about that album that you just mentioned. I should know, but I'll definitely check that out.
Top to bottom, pretty damn solid.
Yeah.
Next album.
Already mentioned System of Down, Toxicity. I'm going to have to say, and this was another album that I wore out as a youngster, was Metallica, the $5.98 EP Garage Days revisited.
That's a pretty solid jam right there.
Yeah. And my kid, it cracks me up because my kid listens to some dark shit. But when the Misfits cover, whenever they do this, I've got something to say.
Yeah.
My kid's like, no, I don't want to hear that.
Can't handle
I'm
it.
like, you're listening to all this, and it's just a song.
My wife hates covers. She hates them. She's like, no one ever does a cover as good as the original, except for Chris Cornell. That's her opinion, which she's correct.
Yeah.
Like Chris Cornell's, oh shit, it already escaped me. Another episode, I guess.
That's all right.
But yeah, she hates covers. I like them because I like the whole appreciation aspect of a cover. So I like Metallica's cover of which Misfit song was it?
Is it Last Caress?
Last Caress.
Yeah, and then it switched over to Green Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just like 5 songs on that. I want to say there was a King Diamond, which I don't know anything about King Diamond.
I don't either.
Than what Metallica, but it was like almost like a treasure among. I think one of my friends had it, and it was like we passed it around and made copies of it, and it was just like a ultra rare to us. So
I'm glad you mentioned King Diamond because the only thing I know about King Diamond is that stupid painted face. Like, I think
that's right.
The singer, the King Diamond guy, has that. So I've got to drop a bomb on you.
Okay.
Our next review has already been decided for us.
Okay.
Emily Lowe, who watches every single thing we do.
What's up, Emily?
Has been asking for a while for us to do Alice Cooper. And she's like, I'm either going to get pissed at you or you're going to do Alice Cooper.
I'm game,
I'm afraid to look and see how many albums he's got.
There's a lot.
Fuck.
And I met Alice Cooper. I'm going to save it for the episode.
Oh yeah, I think you've told me outside of the episode.
Yeah,
but we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll be a slow 2-parter kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't
down
know.
with that. I'll give him a chance. I mean, he sold lots of albums, and
so I told her we'd try.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
For sure. Yeah, I'm down with that. What do you have next on your runners up?
Let's see. I'm in the obscure range that not everybody's going to know, but Tomahawk.
Yeah.
Their self-titled album. This is Mike Patton from Faith No More. Mm-hmm. It's one of his side bands. I saw them open up for Tool. Mm-hmm. Became a fan instantly, but Tomahawk's self-titled album, I've wore that thing out over the years. It's a really strange album, but
used
it's
to do
good.
the funky instrument with his hands.
Yes,
and,
like the little reader like the guy from Muse has that he just makes weird noises when he gets close and backs away. And so that's up there for me. Here's a few more random ones on here. I'm kind of excited. What's next?
I'm going to say Johnny Cash, American 4, The Man Comes Around.
Thought about that because that's a good one.
Oh my God, that's a good album.
That's a good one.
I wore that out.
Yeah, I listened to it quite a bit. I thought about it. I didn't put it down because I liked what I had here already, and I was like, I can't go to 60 albums. We wouldn't,
Yeah.
even if we're talking 1 minute about each album, or 30 seconds for that matter, there's just not time. That's a good one though.
Yeah.
My next one is a band called Refused, who are kind of famous in the punk hardcore arena for an album called The Shape of Punk to Come, which is really good. But my favorite album by them is called War Music. It's only a couple years old. When you're pissed off, check out Refused War Music.
Okay.
Great album.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Top
think you
to
sent
bottom.
me. I think you sent me one of their links.
Yeah. The Wolf is at the Door. That whole song.
Yeah.
I sent you last night or something.
What a cool title.
Yeah, good stuff. What you got next?
This is an album that I listened to when I was young. I listened to it a lot. It's the only album from this band that I can really tolerate.
That's so funny. My next one is that whole line of thought. Only album I could tolerate.
Really,
I'm excited. Go for it.
Suicidal Tendencies, their self-debut album.
I never listened to them much.
I had a skater punk friend who turned me on to Suicidal Tendencies when I was maybe, 13 or so. Debut album, Institutionalized. I Saw Your Mommy. I love this album. I still mow grass to this album today.
The best albums are from mowing grass.
But beyond, that's right. But beyond this album, they just annoy me.
Do they have an album called 5 Bolt Main?
I don't know.
Or is that just Carl telling us about a new band we've never heard of? I'm not sure. Carl, you may have to clarify there what 5 Bolt Main is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Same train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
There's a band. I didn't care for anything they did except for one album. Sponge, Wax Ecstatic.
Sponge.
It was a late 90s thing.
Yeah.
But the album Wax Ecstatic, top to bottom, I love that thing. I still every once in a while it pops in my head and I put it on. It's a good one.
Okay. Yeah.
What's next?
I have.
Phipps says 5 Bolt Main is a band. Never heard of them.
Never heard
Looks
of
like
them
something we may
either.
have to look into eventually.
Yeah, and this is kind of a predictable selection, but Led Zeppelin 4.
It's in my honorable mentions as well, so I'll
Is it?
just throw that fact in there. Yeah,
Yeah, what a
almost
good
top
album.
almost top 10.
It's almost there.
But I just couldn't for some reason. I don't know why.
couldn't either.
I went back and forth. How many times did you change numbers? Like
Oh, a
4 to
bunch.
6, 7 to 3, 4 to, just trying to get that combination right and like looking at each one like, no, seriously, I know that I like this one more. I've got to move it.
I'll tell you what I did. My final draft, I wrote each album on a sticky note and put 1 through 10 on a piece of paper and moved all that shit around.
That's a good method.
And then I still wasn't satisfied with it, but as pencils down, I have to be at Jeremy's in 2 hours, so I'm going to just plug this shit in and that's it.
Brian Huck says, love you, Bark, and guy with similar name. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to talk about Hucks and Hicks in a
Yeah.
message and be like, oh, yeah, well, Hucks is coming for the draft. Me and Hicks are doing some music stuff, and the autocorrect is like, who the fuck are you talking about, dude? Hucks or Hicks? They're both
Yeah.
Brians, but which one? Brian, Hucks is one of my favorite people. He's one of the sweetest men alive.
Good deal.
And I like sweet men, so love that fucking guy.
Yeah, good.
And he's got some comments that I'll talk about later as far
Sure.
as some of his best albums.
Sure.
Next on my list, honorable mention, Avenged Sevenfold Nightmare.
Oh, shit.
I love that shit,
See,
top to bottom. I think that's my favorite album of theirs.
Oh,
I
my
don't
God.
love everything that they've done. I started out with the early stuff and then was disappointed by City of Evil, but then Nightmare came around. I was like, that's a banger right there.
Oh, my God. I forgot about that album. That is
That's what happens in this journey. You just forget.
That's a great album. I'll never forget they released one album. You and I were on our way to work, and you downloaded this album, and it was like, I don't remember the name of the album.
Was it with the country jam
It
on
was
it?
the country
It
stuff.
was like Hail to the King or something like
we
that.
listened to like 4 tracks, and you threw it out the window. And we were so pissed because we were ready for something good.
That one grew on me a little bit afterwards,
it?
but I was not happy with that at the time.
Yeah, it just wasn't good.
No, but Nightmare, that's a banger.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Buried Alive? I think so, Phipps. Phipps is asking about the Avenged Sevenfold one. It's the one with the Bon Jovi jam, like, dear God, the only thing I ask of you is to fuck off, Avenged Sevenfold.
Yeah.
Quit singing songs like fucking the Goober's wife on the Cleveland show that rides around on the fucking jazzy chair. When I hear dear God, I just think of that woman on the Cleveland show. What's next? I said Avenged Sevenfold. Nightmare. What you got?
I've got Jack White, Blunderbuss.
I need to listen to Jack White's solo shit more. I never did give it enough of a listen.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know if I was mad that it wasn't the White Stripes or what. But
I get that.
I didn't give it enough time.
I
One
get
of these
that.
days I need to do that.
Yeah, I still feel that a little bit because I don't get the I miss the White Stripes a lot. So that's
As do I. I wish they would bring the two-piece band back together. It would be great.
yeah.
My next one, not a lot of people know this band, but they gave me a new hope for rock music a few years back, but Highly Suspect. Mr. Asylum is the name of the album.
Okay.
I wore this thing out. Like, I was so impressed that a band 2015 and newer put out an album this good. And I love this shit. And then the next album they did, I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but it was amazing as well. And then they dropped another one that went full fucking weird, and it was garbage. And I don't know if I'll ever listen to them again. But Highly Suspect, Mr. Asylum, that was my jam
Yeah.
a few years back.
Good deal. Next, I have, and I know you're not a big fan. I am up to a point, but Van Halen's self-titled debut album,
I can't do it for some reason.
and that's okay. Yeah,
I listened to some Mammoth WVH the other day.
You know that he's such a sweetheart of a dude.
The music was pretty good. I
can't do his music.
Voices sometimes just I can't do, and I couldn't really get on board, with his voice. It's kind of a thing. Emily, I know you'll listen, but Emily sent me a few songs, one by a band called Avatar and one by oh God, I know the name of the other one. I gotta look it up real quick. But Avatar and Lizzie Borden. And like I saw them and I was like, she recommended Alice Cooper, and then she sends me songs that look like guys that are Alice Cooper.
Sure.
There's a certain level of shit that sounds like 80s hair metal that I just can't get on board. I couldn't get on board.
Yeah.
Like once I moved on from Warrant, I never went back and revisited any band that was famous primarily from the 80s.
Yeah.
I just have a hard time with it.
Yeah, and it's like the first three Van Halen albums. The first one's from 1978. Just really important to me. I really enjoyed it.
Brian Huck says, Hicks, you sound like the actor Bill Paxton. Solid voice.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. Carl Alcorn says, the best of Pantera. That album still crushed that as well. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
What did we leave off with? Was it you or me?
You're up, pal.
I'm up. All right. Next album on my honorable mentions. I hated this album with a passion when it first came out, which
Machine Gun
was
Kelly?
a long time ago. Fuck
Machine-
no. Fuck that guy. He's the most annoying current star.
good.
I'd love to punch him.
Yeah.
Like-
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I
be
hate
choked.
that guy.
Yeah.
I love Megan Fox, though. But anyways, Mechanical Animals by Marilyn Manson.
Okay.
I'm going to give this its own category.
Mhm.
To me, out of all the albums I've heard over my lifetime so far, this one aged the best. Like, I didn't care for this when it came out because I think Antichrist Superstar almost made my top. And I hate to say that because Marilyn Manson's a big old bag of douche.
Yeah.
And I fucking hate him. But I can't deny the fact that I wore Antichrist Superstar out back in the day.
Sure. Yeah.
But Mechanical Animals came out, and I'm like, what's this weird spacey bullshit? Now at 40, I listen to that album. I'm like, this is brilliant.
Sure.
Top to bottom.
Sure.
It's my favorite Marilyn Manson album, even though I hate the guy now.
Yeah.
I hate to support people that I hate like that. But
Yeah. I know what you mean.
that album is legit. Like, it is legit top to bottom impressive to me. So I've got that as kind of a an aged well award. Like of all the albums that I've listened to in my life, that one aged the best. Like I came back to it one day, I was like, damn, I was too young to appreciate it. So that's in my honorable mention, some Marilyn Manson album. Want to punch myself in the face right now.
That's
What's
okay.
next?
That's a good album. This is kind of a curveball, but I'm going to say Kanye West, College Dropout, his first album.
It's a damn good entry.
It's good. It's a good album, and it's an album. My wife can't stand it, but it's an album that I can listen to all the way through. I mean, it's kind of like a story.
Kanye was legit for a while. Not so much now. Donda Sucks. The album before Donda Sucks.
Yeah.
The album before that wasn't that great either.
Yeah. This album, fucking Jamie Foxx. He can sing.
Jamie Foxx, he's a talented motherfucker.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Jay-Z was on this album. It was a good album. I just really enjoyed it. It was just kind of like a story. It wasn't like any other hip hop album that I've heard.
No, and that's highly regarded as like one of the top 10 best rap albums of all time as well. Or maybe it's my Dark Twisted Fantasy, but his albums are up there.
Sure.
Funny you mentioned a rap album. Honorable mention, barely missed out on the top 10, honestly, Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh, that's good.
That's classic.
I consider that.
That is a classic. My wife would agree. It's top to bottom just brilliant. I mean, to me, it's his best album still, even though he's done some great albums. Kamikaze almost made this too, and people don't.
Kamikaze was good.
Kamikaze, that's one of the most underrated damn albums I've ever heard, because that shit is fucking fire.
Oh, it is.
He is spitting on that album like crazy, and the fact that critics didn't like it, I was like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
This is fucking like this. It got my blood pumping.
Sure.
That album did.
Yeah.
Love that album. Butcher says, Fireball. Yeah, motherfucker. He's got some. You drank it all last time, but he's got some now. And I won our DraftKings League. Butcher. Bastard. Not really. I love you.
Yeah.
What's next?
That is pretty much the end of my runners up. I have.
Oh, shit. I've got so many.
Well, I want you to go through them, and I want to hear them. I had to stop because I was getting stressed, and I knew that there were a lot of things that I was missing. I do have, just to make a few steps forward, I have an album that's kind of not really a surprise, but kind of doesn't really fit in with anything else that I really enjoy. One of my categories I have, it's not an album, but just the sexiest song of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then I have the most underrated album.
Ooh, I gotta find. I've got that sexy album too, and I forgot to cue it up, but I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, but I want to hear the remainder of your runners up.
What's your sexy album?
My sex, and it's just a song. It's not the album, but it's an oldie but a goodie.
Okay.
But it is Sam Cooke. Bring It On Home to Me.
Really?
Oh my!
I've never really.
Jesus
I know
Christ.
songs because I know he's popular as shit.
Oh my God, dude! I'm telling you, this dude had just the voice. I mean, it'll melt the pants off your significant other.
Huh?
I mean, it's just sexy as
I
fuck.
have to check that out.
Oh, it's so good.
My sexy entry is Sierra Goodies.
I don't know that song.
Oh man, Sierra. That album was just kind of got the blood pumping. Sierra.
I was going to
Goodies.
guess your sexy track was going to be a Beatles song.
Which
That
one?
was one of your very favorite ones? Or
She's So Heavy?
Maybe that was it. I think.
It would definitely be up there.
I think that's it. Or something in the way she moves.
My sexy album in that sense is the whole Getaway album by the Chili Peppers,
Okay.
which I should have put as an honorable mention, but I guess I
should've
thought of it
put
now.
some Chili Peppers. Oh
See,
my
it's
God.
hard to
I love the
do.
Chili Peppers. Jesus.
This shit's difficult.
They're going on tour.
Yes,
We're going.
that video. Oh yeah. Yeah, my wife's already seen him. She can stay her ass home. It's my time now.
I've never seen them live. It's
Me
on my
neither.
bucket list.
Yes. That
For Shanti's
video
back.
announcing that was hilarious.
Oh, it's great.
Dude, I cracked up.
I love those fuckers.
Clutch from Beale Street to Oblivion. Carl says, never could get into Clutch. I tried.
I have a love-hate relationship with Clutch.
I feel like as Tool fans, Tool mention, I'm going to have to make a drop for that. As Tool fans, you're supposed to like Clutch. I can't do it. I never could. I don't know why.
It's hit or miss with me.
Yeah.
Some of the songs I do like. There's more songs that I don't like than I do like.
Yeah.
But I haven't gone through all of their stuff.
Right. I haven't either. I may have to revisit, but
Yeah.
Clutch, not a fan. So you want me to go through the rest of my honorable
Yes,
mentions?
please.
I'm going to bang them out.
Bang them out.
All right. So Thrice, I mentioned Dustin Kinsrew earlier. Thrice Beggars. That was my sleep album for a while. I went to sleep with that album. Did you ever have an album that you went to sleep to?
No.
A Perfect Circle's debut album and Thrice's
shit.
Beggars were two albums that I had on while I was falling asleep as a young man.
I plugged in a Perfect Circle and deleted them.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have them in here, but
Yeah.
I guess I mentioned them now.
Yeah.
Toadies, Rubberneck.
Okay.
I love that album. And actually, even though they were kind of a one-hit wonder, the Toadies, the rest of their albums, really fucking good.
Okay.
Really good. All of them. Like all of the Toadies albums, which they've released quite a few, and they just released one recently, I think.
Sure.
Those are good albums. Toadies are good.
What the hell was their number one?
So
what
help
was
me,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Played on the radio every 7 minutes. Yeah.
That whole album is great, and every album after it's pretty damn good too.
Okay.
Not many people are going to know this one, but Guttermouth Gusto, one of my favorite weird punk albums of all time.
Okay.
Here's an album you and I listened to and hated. Silverchair, Straight Lines.
Yeah.
Remember when I played this for you and we're like, what the fuck happened to these guys? What is
Yeah.
this weird poppy bullshit?
Yeah.
That album grew on me a lot.
Okay.
It's my favorite Silverchair album, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of a big Silverchair fan.
Sure.
Vulgar Display of Power,
Oh, yeah.
Pantera. That's in my honorable mentions. Love that shit.
I like Pantera.
Just outside the top 10, Stone Temple Pilots, Core.
Okay.
A lot of people hated on them because they were trying to be Pearl Jam. Motherfucker, they were good.
Yeah.
I thought they were good. Scott Weiland was good.
Oh, he was good.
That album just barely missed out. Blink-182's self-titled album. It's the one with the weird smiley face and arrows on it. I think that's one of the best albums. It's one of my favorite albums,
My
period.
son is big into Blink-182 right now.
So is my 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I want to take him to see them so bad
Yeah.
because he loves their newest album and he liked the one before.
Okay.
I like the two newest albums too because Alkaline Trio's Matt Skiba is there instead of what's that?
Tom DeLonge.
Tom DeLonge. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
instead of Tom DeLonge, I actually like Skiba better. The Black Parade, Chemical Romance.
Oh my God.
Top
I
to bottom,
forgot.
fucking great album.
My kid is a huge fan of My Chemical Romance, and we're actually
That
seeing
album's
them.
great.
We're going to see them next September in Detroit.
Yeah, I remember you bought those tickets. It's been a while, and it's still going to be a while.
Yeah, still going
Been
to
a
be.
while.
Yeah,
Stain did not make my honorable mentions. By the way.
Mine either, but I can't wait to see My Chemical Romance.
Yeah, that should be a great show.
Good album.
Still in the honorable mentions, Radiohead OK Computer. One of the best albums of all time, in my opinion. Not in my top 10, but it was close. Offspring Smash.
Man, I need to get
It's
into.
a great album.
I need to. I don't know a whole lot about Offspring. I need to.
Smash is top to bottom, undeniably really, really good.
Because I really like those guys. Man, I always think Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
like
I
one of their
know.
worst songs ever.
And I figured that was one of their
Yeah,
worst songs.
they definitely have some shit that
So-
just is mountaintops better than that.
I believe that. I need to find out.
Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Ooh.
Top to bottom. Probably should have made my top 10, but I'll tell you why it didn't here shortly.
Uh-huh.
Weezer Blue Album.
Okay.
Top to bottom, every single song I thought was amazing.
Yep.
Beatles Revolver, same thing.
Sure.
Exile on Main Street, I did have it listed in there. Led
Okay.
Zeppelin 4 we talked about.
Sure.
Just outside the top 10, Outkast Stankonia.
I love
That's
Outkast.
a great album.
You're like the only other dude that I know or person that I know that
I don't know
likes Outkast.
I don't know how. They're like
There's
they're
some funky shit in there.
they're at the pinnacle of rap to me. It's like there's a handful of names, and I feel like Outkast is one of them. You know, that should be
Sure.
mentioned in those greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Like Outkast is brilliant.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions, just a few left. All Things Must Pass, George Harrison. This was really, really hard to leave out of my top 10. Abbey Road, just outside.
Yeah.
Really hard to leave out of my top 10.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and say what I've been meaning to say this whole time about those two albums.
Yes.
I love them, but the fact of the matter remains, I could not put them in the top 10 over some albums that I have listened to for over half of my adult life.
I love George Harrison.
As
Jesus.
do I. That
That's
album's
such a-
brilliant, and it's 20-some songs deep, and it's still brilliant. every single song.
22 songs. I was just looking up My Sweet Lord.
That's one of the best songs of all time.
What a great song. And I forgot about this album.
It's
There's
amazing.
just so much.
I've
Jesus.
listened to that album all week. I've been really stuck on it. And I was like, man, I'm going to end up leaving this outside of the top 10 because I love my top 10 so much.
Yeah,
And my top 10 has so much to do with me growing up.
exactly. Yeah.
So I want to include some of the classic shit
I
that
get
we've
that.
really gotten into over the past year or so, but I just couldn't. Last honorable mention for me, and I hated leaving this out, Queens of the Stone Age, like clockwork. So fucking good. Songs for the Deaf also
Oh,
technically
dude.
should be in there, but they just didn't quite make it. But I had to mention them because Queens of the Stone Age is my shit.
Oh my God. I don't know of any other band like Queens of the Stone Age. Josh Homme, he's a fucking genius.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, what he comes up with is unreal. And
His ex-wife always called him Ginger Elvis, and there's no better way to describe him. Ginger Elvis.
yeah.
Like he's a redheaded modern day stoner rock Elvis.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So good. That album's so good.
That's funny you mentioned
So good.
that.
One last entry.
Yeah, let's hear it.
This is a category I wanted to call I can't believe I even thought about this album when
Okay.
doing this,
Okay.
because it doesn't belong. And at the same time, I think top to bottom, it's really fucking good. Seven Mary 3's American Standard. I love this album. No one else really does. Everybody just thinks about Cumbersome.
Was that the cumbersome? Was it
Yeah.
off that?
Yeah.
There was a second song. Well, there were more.
Water's Edge.
Yeah, Water's Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about
Whole
that.
album's good, man. The whole thing.
Forgot about that album.
Like they came at the end of grunge. It was like almost post grunge, but not quite. It was a good album.
Okay.
I really like that album. So it's in my can't believe it's not butter category.
Sure.
Can't believe it's not actually in my honorable mentions. I like it.
I
And I
forgot
felt
about
weird
that.
about putting it in there.
Well, I'm glad that you did. I forgot about that album, and I'm going to check it out.
Top 10 time.
I have one more comment before we get into top 10. Do you have a most underrated album? Do you have anything in mind?
I had this is a weird one. I'm an obscure.
I have a weird
I'm an
one.
obscure guy, but the Silverchair Straight Lines is my most underrated. I think it's
Okay.
one of the best. It's like I'm gonna sound stupid as fuck, but Silverchair Straight Lines album to me is Beatles-esque.
Okay.
It is so creative and different and beautiful, and I don't know anyone that shares that opinion, but it's so good.
That dude was like 4 years old when he first made an album.
Oh yeah, they were in
He was
diapers.
just-
They were in
Crazy.
diapers singing about Fat Boy. Fat Boy.
Frog on the cover.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
I remember the frog.
Frog Stomp.
Frog
What
stomp.
a great song for 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
Stomping frogs.
I have a most underrated album, the Violent Femme self-titled debut album from 1983.
That's a cool one. I tried listening to that back in the day, and I bet it's one of those ones I'd go back to now and be like, I didn't understand then, but I
Yeah.
do now. I have a feeling about that.
Blister in the Sun, Added Up, Good Feeling, Please Don't Go.
First song I ever learned on guitar, Blister in the Sun.
Yeah.
I mean, so easy.
So easy.
So easy.
But that was, I really enjoyed that album. Yeah, kind of an underrated album to me.
That's a nice entry because you don't hear many people talk about the Violent Femmes anymore.
No, not really. And they had a lot of garbage. But
Oh, shit.
what is it?
Fucking Carl for the win.
What's he say?
He says, does anyone still listen to Victim? I still haven't. I still have Can't Crack These Nuts, and the other one, can't remember its name. It has money on it. Do you remember Victim?
The local band?
Yeah, from Hamden, Ohio.
Poop Soup.
Poop Soup.
What's the name of the album?
That was pretty good. It was very Limp Bizkity.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like, these guys are local, and this shit's legit. Good Good
yeah,
mention,
I
Carl.
forgot about
Victim
that.
was a lot of fun back in the day. That was one of the only local bands that I did have a CD of that I enjoyed listening
I did too, and I couldn't believe that it was somebody local.
Victim. Carl for the win tonight.
Yeah,
that's
wow.
good. That's awesome.
Wow.
That is awesome.
Where are they now?
I don't know, but they were doing pretty well for a minute.
Yeah.
Like they were playing oh shit. The
Alrosa
what,
Villa.
What was the monkey one down in Huntington? It was like the something monkey. Carl can probably Phipps says
Yeah.
Poop Soup was not the one with money on the cover.
Okay.
Either way, man, Victim was that was a cool local band back in the day.
Sure.
Number 10, Hicks, I'm grabbing a beer.
Oh
You're going
my
to tell me
God,
number
dude.
10. It's time.
Number 10.
It's time.
Number 10. And like I said earlier, these 10 albums, this is what I would grab and go if, yeah, I'll take a beer, please. One of those. It took me a long time with this list, and it still stresses me out. I'm still not happy with this list,
I'm not either.
but I'm going to shut the fuck up.
It
and
wasn't
I'm gonna,
Brass Monkey, was it?
I'm going to go on. Number 10, Queens of the Stone Age like clockwork. And I about shit when you mentioned this. Oh my God, keep your eyes peeled. I sat by the ocean. If I had a tail, my God is the sun. This album is so good.
Yep.
And these albums that I picked out are albums that I can listen to from front to back.
Anytime.
Over and over and over and over.
That no matter when it comes on, you don't turn it off because you're like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That is my top honorable mention that I just struggled so hard with. I did not want to leave it out, but I was like, if I mention it, it's the same thing. Maybe it was the Brass Monkey bar. Brass Monkey, that monkey,
Yeah, I don't,
Brass
I
Monkey
remember something.
junkie.
Yeah. There was a bar down there that was like half country, half rock.
There was one that everyone went
this
to
one?
because you could get in when you were
Yeah.
like 12 and still drink too, and I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember either.
I'm
but
sure these alcoholics on our Facebook will mention them here in a
I'm
minute.
sure they will too. So my number 10 is Queens of the Stone Age,
That's
like clockwork.
Man, I wanted to include it. I really did. And you know what? I like it was a fraction. My number 10 and that album were so damn close.
Yeah.
But I had to go with what I've heard more and
Sure.
what I've listened to more.
Sure.
And my number 10 is 9 Inch Nails, The Fragile.
Okay.
Fucking love that album so much. But Queens of the Stone Age, like clockwork, was so close.
Sure. Sure.
So close. But The Fragile double album, I love albums with lots of songs on them if they're artists that I am really into. Like, what would we do if Tool released a double album? You ever seen the dude on Chappelle's show that's just walking around doing this the whole time? That would be me. They'd be like, Tool double album. I'd be like, yeah. The Fragile is my shit. 9 Inch Nails is
Good.
one of my favorites of all time. I had to put it in there because I've wore that thing out.
Sure. Good.
Number 9.
Number 9, The Misfits, Walk Among Us.
That's a good one.
Oh my God. I've been
See?
listening to this forever.
I omitted them completely, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I did because, you know, this is hard. It's hard to go
hard.
back through everything that you love and remember every little thing.
It's hard, and I moved this album around quite a bit on my top 10. This is an album that I can listen to from front to back. When I was 12 years old mowing grass, I listened to this album quite a bit.
You mow a lot of fucking grass.
I had a big yard to mow, so I had a lot of albums. So it just, and still today, you know, my son, he's 16. He's like, you listen to Misfits? And I play this album, like the first 2 albums. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, post Danzig Misfits. I'm like, I don't know any of that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm the Danzig Misfits. This album, I mean, I bought this on vinyl. It's important to me. I really enjoy it.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's timeless to me personally.
That's what the top 10's all about.
Yeah.
I feel like since we're talking about sons, my oldest son, Javid, who is going to be 19 here in a few days.
Wow.
Crazy. I think his favorite band is Slipknot.
Sure.
I listen to Iowa quite a bit, so I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah.
Damn good album. Their best album, actually, in my opinion. Number 9.
What do you have?
Nobody would have guessed this at all from me, except maybe my wife, but even she might not have guessed it. Number 9. I'm going to hear a chorus of boos for this one.
That's all right.
Fiona Apple,
Okay.
When the Pond Breaks.
Okay.
I like every single Fiona Apple song out there. She's one of my favorite artists of all time. I love piano. I love her voice. I love the way she looks. I love the way she sings. I love every fucking thing about her. And this album, top to bottom, gives me chills. We're in that realm of chills.
Sure.
Like The Fragile, maybe a few chill moments where I get goosebumps. Number 9, Fiona Apple's When the Pond Breaks. I could have put any of her albums here, really, but that's my favorite. Chill bumps all day long when I listen to that album. I love that shit.
Do you remember the Criminal video? How
Yeah.
sexy she was?
Yes, and
Oh
I don't
my
even like skinny women.
Yeah.
And
so
I
it was
still-
just a sexy video. Yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot about her.
I love her. Dude, her shit is so good.
Yeah, I need
Her
to.
music is so
I'm going to have to do
so
a deep
good.
dive. I'll have to make note.
Dude, it's good.
Yeah.
So good. Number 8 on you? Is that where we're at?
Number 8, I have, and this was a kind of important album to me,
I'm excited about my 8.
Public Enemy.
Man, look at us go. We're on track today. I mean, it's not Public Enemy for me, but it's the genre.
Is it Public Enemy, Apocalypse 91, The Enemy Strikes Black?
Dude, you sent me a Public Enemy song the other day, and it had my blood pumping big time.
This whole album, except for the Flavor Flav tracks, which are kind of corny. I don't have much patience for that.
Phipps says, I totally forgot about how good Fiona Apple's albums were, Phipps.
Yeah.
We're going to rub wieners together later.
Yeah. But this album, and I'll tell you why this album kind of I gained interest in this at an early age. Living in a small town, there was a hate group who, and I'm not going to go off
Yeah.
subject with this, but there was a hate group who marched through town.
You can, though. I love hating on hate groups.
And I remember,
Here locally?
here locally.
Who were these motherfuckers?
I'm not going to say.
God damn it.
I'm not going to say. But I remember, it was like, my mom's like, you better stay home. I had all the freedom I wanted. You better just stay home today. Don't go riding your bike through town and all that
Right.
stuff. And I kind of knew about this group, and I thought Public Enemy was opposite of this group, of this hate group.
Yeah.
And it was political. It was smart. It was just anti-bullshit.
Yeah.
It was just, Chuck D, I thought, holy fuck. When this dude talked, I listened, and I still play this album today, and it's just really good. It's like you said, it gets my blood pumping.
Public Enemy, that was one of the first rap albums I ever owned.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of which one. I'm Googling it now, but it was, which one was it?
There's a few good ones.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was. I mean, I would have been pretty young when this had came out.
Uh-huh.
I'm probably not going to be able to tell just by looking
That's
at
okay.
album covers. Oh, well, that's okay. But yeah, Public Enemy, definitely one of those things I grew up with as
Yeah,
well.
and
They're
something
good
just fell
shit.
from the ceiling. But I listened to it today, and it still just, gets me pumped up. It's just
Yeah.
some good shit. Love it.
Same genre. My number 8,
Mm-hmm.
and this is high praise to be in my top 10. Jay-Z and Kanye West, Watch the Throne.
Okay.
I love every single song on that thing.
Good album.
I have wore it out. To me, it's the pinnacle of rap.
That's a good album.
Love that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like Jay-Z that much. That's the weird thing about that album. I don't really care for Jay-Z that much, but when
Yeah.
Jay-Z and Kanye
Mm-hmm.
are going back and forth and taking their turns dropping bars,
Uh-huh.
that shit was magical to me.
Yeah.
That whole album, I love it like no other rap album that I've ever heard. Fucking love that shit. Number 7, Hicks.
Number 7, The White Stripes, Get Behind Me, Satan.
That's a good album.
Oh my God.
That is a really good album.
Jack and Meg. Jack's the Willy Wonka of music.
Yeah.
And I bought this album on vinyl. I'm not a vinyl snob, but I bought this
We are now.
album. Yeah. I bought this album on vinyl, and I heard us listening to music and doing these reviews I'm a better listener. I'm still not a good listener, but I'm hearing more.
Yeah.
I'm paying more attention.
Yeah.
So when I bought this album on vinyl, I heard shit that I never listened to before. And it's just a great album. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a lot of tracks are unpredictable. It's Meg White. She wasn't the greatest drummer.
No, but you
which
don't have
made
to
it
be.
so good. And even,
Some people can have a specific rhythm.
yeah.
They don't have to be technically brilliant. There's got to be just the meshing of those two.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like Patrick Carney of Black Keys. He's
Oh,
not
yeah.
the greatest drummer.
Sure.
But you put that shit with what, Dan does on vocals and guitar. There's something. Ringo,
It's the chemistry.
Yeah, Ringo's
Yeah.
maybe he's one of the best of all time. I don't hear it out of Ringo,
Yeah.
but I don't play drums. But I mean, sometimes you just get this combination that's undeniable. It's
Sure.
like ICP, man. Not really.
No, really. I can't do ICP.
We will eventually.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you have for
shit.
number 7?
Number 7, one of my favorite bands of all time. I could not omit them. And before I say them, Phipps says, just be on time. That's all Meg had to do. And she did.
Yeah.
Her drumming was on time with Jack. And sometimes the simplest drum beats are the most effective. You don't have to be fucking Neil Peart.
Yeah.
You can just simply hit the drum correctly to go along with the genre and the style that you're
I
playing.
fucking love the White Stripes.
I love Meg White.
Jesus, I do
I don't
too.
care that she's not a technical genius.
That's what
I
makes
love
it so good.
watching her play drums gets my blood boiling.
And it's, some of it's so awkward,
Yeah.
but I love that awkwardness
I like it.
because it's not expected. It's,
Here's a comparison for you.
uh-huh,
Meg White is to drums
uh-huh.
as Kurt Cobain is to singing.
Sure.
Because
Very
Kurt
good.
Cobain doesn't have your conventional
Sure.
singing voice.
Sure.
Kurt Cobain was raw
Yeah.
and did one take. I'll get to that in a minute.
Mhm.
Did a lot of one take recordings. There's beauty in imperfection, and Meg
I think
White,
so too.
there's beauty in her imperfection at drumming, and you don't even hear the imperfection. You just don't hear technical prowess, but there's something beautiful about her drumming.
Sure.
Yes, we'll do White Stripes soon.
Is that Phipps?
He's like, do the show then, god damn it.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is with this podcast, we typically listen to stuff that we never gave a chance, but me and Hicks
Right.
have went through White Stripes album with a fine-tooth comb.
Oh, yeah.
We know we love that shit. There's not really going to be anything new about that one, but since we're talking about albums we love, I guess eventually we can do an artist we love episode and talk
Sure.
about why we love the White Stripes.
Love them.
Number 7, one of my favorite bands of all time. Not a lot of people share this, but it's one of those ones that I think like, you're just not hearing the music, man.
Yeah.
You're hearing the singles, man, and you're not giving the rest of it a chance, man. Wasting Light by the Foo Fighters is one of the best rock albums, in my opinion, top to bottom,
Okay.
that's ever been released. That's just my opinion. I just think that is rock at its like most pure form is Foo Fighters Wasting Light. Every fucking track on that thing is wonderful.
Okay. I
Some people just can't do it.
no, and I tell you what, I can't do Foo Fighters because of Nirvana. And I hate to say that because it just reminds me a lot of Nirvana.
Yeah. But
I mean Dave Grohl, not the sound.
okay.
But when
okay.
I see Dave Grohl physically, I think Nirvana,
See, I don't anymore.
and I can't
I
get over
did.
that.
I did at first, like the Color and the Shape and the self-titled album. Like I had a hard time with those because I was like, this is pretty good shit, but it's not Nirvana.
Yeah.
But as time has passed, I'm like, I like Foo Fighters maybe more
Sure. And
because I've just become such a fan. There's
Yeah.
just there's so to me, they've not made a bad song to me,
yeah.
and I'm just so impressed with them. Much like Jennifer Aniston is, because she's she fangirled out over the weekend about Foo Fighters.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And I
they
fucking,
were on her show, The Good Morning Show or something, and she was just like starstruck.
right?
Yeah, it was kind of cool
man,
to see.
Dave Grohl is like the ultimate dude. I
Dude,
mean,
he's
just-
making documentaries. He's drums for Queen of the Stone Age, drums for Tenacious D. Like, so many appearances on people's albums. The dude is the biggest modern rock star we got left.
Yeah, yeah.
And to me, he's a brilliant motherfucker. But I love the band.
Yeah.
Some guy commented on one of our episodes. I think it was a Limp Bizkit episode, and we talked about butt rock or some shit
Frat
like
boy.
frat boy rock. That's exactly what it was. And he's just like, he joked on the comments like they're talking about frat boy rock and dudes wearing a Foo Fighters shirt. Like, to me, it's not frat boy rock. You know, it's not cheesy. It's really solid music. Number 6, Hicks.
The Sex Pistols, Never Mind the Boys.
I knew that was going to be in your top 10. I had a feeling.
Oh, this album, listen to it from front to back. It's really important to me.
It's a good one. It's a really good one. It probably should have been in my honorable mentions, but like we said in the beginning of this, I overlooked it.
Yeah, yeah. It's an
Overlooked
album
it.
that's just timeless to me. I can listen to it right now, and I still feel good about it. I
It's a
enjoy
good one.
listening to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you 100% on that. I hate that I overlooked it. It wouldn't have been in my top 10, but it would have been on my honorable mentions. Number 6 for me,
What you got?
this is where the shit got real difficult.
Yeah.
Like, shit was getting really difficult when I got to 6.
Mhm.
Alice in Chains' Dirt. That fucking album is just, not only is every song top to bottom great,
Yeah.
but I don't even know how to explain that album. I don't know how to explain how Lane Staley, okay, yeah, I do. Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell
Uh-huh.
were like the Black Magic, Depths of the Dark version of Paul and John Lennon.
Yeah.
The harmonizing that they did, which wasn't even, I don't even know if I could call it harmonizing.
I know what you mean.
But Lane Staley's voice and Jerry Cantrell's voice, with that sound that they came up with,
Yeah.
I have yet to hear anything
Right.
as haunting as that.
Yeah.
Like, that's the most haunting voices and the most haunting music I've ever heard. And Alice in Chains' Dirt is, to me, just a classic piece of art that
It's so
happens
good.
to also be heavy.
It's so good.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
They were on a different level during that era, I think.
I regret not seeing them.
Yeah.
I regret being too young, you know, and like, I was going to punk shows instead.
Sure.
I wish to God I could have saw Alice in Chains live,
Yeah,
because
I
that
should have
album
too.
and their other albums. I love all their albums, but Dirt is the pinnacle to me.
Oh my God, and their acoustic stuff, so good.
It's all so good.
Yeah.
Like, it's good shit. And I wish I could listen to their new stuff, but I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. And it's good. Supposedly it's good. Like,
Yeah.
the album that had something to do with
California.
dinosaurs is supposedly one, like, it's on Ranker, it's like one of the top 100 rock albums of all
Okay.
time or something like that. It's really good.
Okay.
But I just can't do it without Lane.
I may have. Yeah, I can't either. I understand that. I may have sent you the link, but I saw a Alice in Chains. It was kind of like a warm up during a concert, before a concert,
Yeah.
or a sound check. That's what I was trying to say. Oh my God, it was so good, and it was just minimal effort.
Oh,
from
yeah.
those
No,
guys.
they didn't have to make an effort. It just worked.
Just the sound. I thought,
Just
"Jeez,
worked."
This is so good.
Great
Yeah.
shit.
That's a great album. I'm glad you said that.
5.
Number 5 for me, Let It Bleed by the Rolling Stones.
Had a feeling you'd have some Stones in there.
Yeah, Give Me Shelter.
That's one that I was just talking about that song
Jesus.
last night with my porch sitting crew.
Yeah.
That, you know, me and my wife and her best friend, like, Give Me Shelter is my favorite Stones song. It's not so unconventional, but my God, that just everything about that song is brilliant.
Yeah, it's so good.
And that album,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my number 5, Let It Bleed by the Stones. What's your number
good
5?
shit. My number 5, I was shocked that it was this low on the list.
Uh-huh.
Pearl Jam's 10
Good
is
album.
my number 5. Top to bottom, brilliant. Yeah, we're all sick of Jeremy. Yeah, we're all sick of Alive. Yeah, we're all sick of Even Flow. Yeah, we're all sick of the whole thing. I'm not. You know, I can still listen to that album to this day. Not often, because I just wore it out.
Yeah.
But to this day, Black is one of my favorite songs of all
that's
time.
a good song.
Oceans is right up there with some of my favorite songs of all time. This album was it is kind of the pinnacle of the early 90s to me.
Yeah.
The pinnacle. There may be one I have above it that comes from the grunge era, but but for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like top to bottom, classic grunge that should be heard by everyone that loves rock, Pearl Jam's 10 is that album.
That's a great album.
It's a great, great album.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Number 4. We've almost done it. I thought this would be a 2-hour plus
Oh, I did
episode,
too.
and it's not.
Yeah, I did too. Number 4 for me, Lateralis by Tool.
You motherfucker. You motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's a great
The
one.
Grudge Schism. Oh my God,
That's a
Lateralis.
great one.
What a great song.
Phipps was wondering when we'd hit the Tool shit up. Here it comes.
I figured.
I need a sound drop. I'm going to do a sound drop of like some kind of Tool riff with my guitar and record it and be like, and then I'll do a voice changer thing. I'll be like, Tool.
Great album artwork. I'm starting to slur a little bit from the booze, but I had trouble placing this album in the lineup. I didn't know where to put it, but very good album. Big fan.
Phipps says, first album I did drugs to. Really? You didn't
Really?
do drugs till 2001? That's fucking shocking.
I was going to guess Fish.
Absolutely fish.
No, I take that back. I have too much respect for Phipps to say.
I was
Fish.
going to say Dark Side of the Moon when he was a mere 8 years old. It was the first time he
Yeah.
dropped acid.
Yeah,
But wow. First album I did drugs to.
that's a good album.
I still love my story about watching Saving Private Ryan at Phipps's house and waking up and realized I missed all of Saving Private Ryan
Oh,
at
is that
Phipps's
right?
house.
Yeah,
That's a beautiful album. What was that, 4?
that was number 4. What's your number 4?
Number 4. I can't remember the exact phone number, but we'll just call 1-888-474-5023 for Paul's Boutique here in
Paul's
New York
Boutique.
City. Beastie Boys, wearing the shirt that Hicks got me tonight.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Paul's Boutique, my number 4. That's the great thing about doing this podcast. Oh, he said 10 was the first album he did drugs to. That makes more
That makes
sense.
sense, yeah.
That makes more sense, Phipps. When you were like 12 and you're like, give me that acid. Makes a lot more sense. Paul's Boutique is in my top 5 for good reason. Didn't even know it. This is one of my favorite entries because when we did the Beastie Boys deep dive is like that eye-opening moment.
Did you not dig this album at first?
I did not dig it like I dug License to Ill.
I thought there was one album that you didn't. You had to go back. and-
Yes. The more I listened to that thing, it
Yeah.
grew on me like fungus.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, it's easily my favorite album of theirs.
Sure.
And the next thing I know, it's in my top 5 albums of all time.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you how many times I've jammed Paul's Boutique since we did the review on the Beastie Boys.
Sure.
Countless times, to the point to where both of my young sons get really excited when I play a certain song and they both raise their arms and they're like, yes,
Yeah.
Eggman.
Oh, Eggman.
They
yeah,
love
that's
that
a good
shit.
track. That's a good track.
Love that whole album top to bottom.
Sure.
It's beautiful. It's brilliant. There's sounds in there you've never, just the sampling, just the whole thing top to bottom. Beastie Boys have really fucking captured me
Yeah.
in a huge way.
Oh, I agree. I agree.
Love that album.
Good, I'm
I will
glad you
jam
said
it when I'm 80 years old. I'll still be listening to Paul's Boutique.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you picked that one.
Yep.
Number 3 for me. Number 3. That is correct, isn't it? Yeah.
3.
The Beatles, Sgt. Pepper.
I kind of figured that too because you talked about it being one of those albums, first CDs you owned or first.
It was the
Tapes
first
or
CD
first something.
that I owned, and it. I listened to this yesterday.
I just bought it on cassette.
Yes, you did. That's
did.
cool. And just there might be one song on here that I don't dig, but for the most part, it was kind of interesting. I was outside doing some stuff, and I actually listened to this album more than once. It circulated, it went back around, and I didn't even know it
Yeah.
until it was too late. So it's a very good album to me. I appreciate
It's
it.
a very good album
Respect it.
to a lot of people. It's. I go to Ranker all the time. I look at Ranker
Sure.
because I enjoy that shit. That's the best album of all time on Ranker.
Really?
Is Sgt. Pepper.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And one of my favorite clips, I don't want to say clip, but it's actually Ringo, the opening guitar for Sgt. Pepper. Did I say guitar? Drums. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's the fucking booze. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I love booze. This
Yeah.
shit's hardcore.
It is.
I feel like Phipps when listening to
It's-
Pearl Jam's
it's
10
like-
right now. I'm like,
it's devil piss. Yeah. But Ringo,
It's
the opening,
hardcore.
dun, It's just the opening
Yeah.
drums, not guitar, that I really appreciate. And good album. I love it.
I just listened to, for the first time the other day, John Lennon's How Do You Sleep
Never
off of
listened
the
to it.
Imagine album.
Never listened to it.
That song opens up with a little clip of Sgt. Pepper.
Does
And
it?
It's a slam track on Paul McCartney is what it is, because they were kind of feuding
Yeah.
at the time.
Fucking Yono.
Fucking Yono.
Is that right? Yoko.
Yoko Ono.
It's
That's the short name. That's like
it's
a
the fucking booze.
fucking Brangelina.
Yoko.
Yoko.
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
The song, the music, everything about that is brilliant.
Is
but
it?
You might want check it out.
I
later.
will. I most certainly
How
will.
Do You Sleep? It's off his solo. Man, I've been getting into the Beatles solo shit here lately.
Okay.
Like it's fucking that. Every single one of them except for Ringo.
Ringo and the All Stars or something.
Except for Ringo's shit is just magic.
What's
all
your
right.
number 3?
Number 3, Nirvana Unplugged.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Good.
This is like top to bottom.
Oh.
It could have been it could have been number 1 for me. I mean,
understand
this is what shocked me going back through, because when we started doing this podcast, we both kind of agreed. Yeah, we appreciate everything Nirvana had done. Yes, we were really into them back in the day. Yes, we're fucking sick of them.
Yeah.
They've only got 2 or 3 albums. How do you keep fucking listening to that shit? But I'll tell you, man, a couple weeks ago, I put this on YouTube, their whole Unplugged show,
Yeah.
and I was just mesmerized. I was so sucked in. I didn't speak
Yeah.
the whole time. I was like, I don't know that I've ever seen anything captured
I agree with that.
on film and on tape or on whatever that sounds this good.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker does not sing like people on The Voice.
Right.
He doesn't sing like people on American Idol. There's a rawness
Oh my God.
and a beauty that just can't be explained when Kurt Cobain sings.
I actually had this in my top 10 and I pulled it out.
I couldn't pull it out. If I'd have pulled it out, I'd have came. So I kept
Yeah.
it in.
What was that? Where'd You Sleep Last Night?
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
a
an old
cover
Lead
of
Belly.
Lead Belly. Yeah,
Oh my God, what a good song! And I can see right now Pat Smear. Was Pat Smear playing the red, white, and blue Buck
Yes.
Owens guitar?
yes, he was.
I fucking love Pat Smear.
I do too.
Yeah, that's such a good.
That album's gold.
That's the only Nirvana album that I can really. I don't want to say that I can really listen to. But
Funny you should say that. What's your number 2?
what's my number 2?
Phipps says
what's Phipps
Bleach, Nevermind, In Utero, and Unplugged. I think he has them listed. I don't know. I don't know if he was listing those as like his top 4. Anyways, what's number 3? Or
Paul's-
number 2? Number 2? Number 2.
Paul's Boutique.
Paul's Boutique.
Easy.
Call 1-877.
Oh, my God.
Paul's Boutique.
That's such a good album. Oh, I love it.
It's brilliant.
I love it so much by the Beastie Boys.
Me too.
Yeah.
I want to listen to it right now.
That's my number 2.
Damn.
Good shit. You've already talked about it.
It
I
is.
don't want to
It's great shit.
go on.
So you and I earlier in the day or the past couple of days had talked. I told you that I was super surprised at a band that infiltrated my top 10.
Sure.
Not once,
But twice.
but twice.
Yes.
Number 2 for me is In Utero by Nirvana.
It's good shit.
This is the most raw,
Yes.
emotional, and crazy album I've ever heard. So Nirvana releases Nevermind,
Sure.
which should be in my honorable mentions. It should be in my top 10, but I just, after realizing 2 of my top 5 albums are by Nirvana, I was like, here I am thinking there's not enough catalog to satisfy me of this band. But really, you go through their catalog and Bleach is good.
Bleach is good.
Nevermind is amazing.
Sure.
I'm sick of it, but it's amazing.
Right.
In Utero, I've never gotten sick of,
It's a good album.
because to me, this album's the pinnacle of punk. This is one of the most punk albums I've ever heard in my life. Reason being, Nirvana's Nevermind was a commercial
Sure.
success
Sure.
like no one's seen since the 70s. It was massive. Kurt Cobain comes back with a big, fuck you
Yeah.
to all that commercial success and is like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I'm going to make, this is Kurt Cobain laying it all on the line.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't give a fuck about being famous.
Right.
I don't give a fuck about your radio commercial rock. He's like, I'm going to grab a fucking broadcast microphone from Frasier. He did the most of the album with a fucking electro voice broadcast mic that they use in radio stations. And most of the songs on In Utero, Kurt Cobain's part was one take.
Really?
He didn't even want to do a second take. He's like, no, fuck it, that's good.
Yeah.
And goddamn it, was it good.
That's a damn good
That
album.
whole album is so raw and emotional and flawed. There's so many mistakes on that shit, but you don't know it because it doesn't sound like mistakes because it's Nirvana.
Yeah.
Because it's Kurt singing, you know, in his him singing the only way he can. Whereas somebody would be like, no, let's do that over. Kurt's like, I don't give a fuck how many times my voice cracked. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it. That album to me is just, it's godlike.
It's very good.
I love that album so much. So much that I looked at my top 5. I was like, God damn, I got Nirvana in there twice.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked. Like, I go back to In Utero quite often. Like, whenever I just want to hear the rawest shit I've ever heard, the most garage band shit I've ever heard, which was released after a perfect studio album like Nevermind.
Sure.
That album's perfect
Sure.
in every studio way. Every note, everything about
Yeah.
that album is perfection as far as just writing, song structure. Every song on that's a hit to me.
Yes.
Every song on In Utero, they barely had a hit. Heart-Shaped Box was really it.
Yeah.
The rest of that album, people were like, I don't know how I feel about this. I'm like, I fucking love it.
Oh yeah.
This is a Dead Kennedys version of Nirvana.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
fucking love it. That's my number 2.
That's a good
And my undying love for that album will probably go on forever.
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit.
It's good. It's a good album.
Number 2, Hicks. Or did we go? Are you on number 1?
I'm on number 1.
I don't want it to end.
I don't want it to end either. And I'm going to mention that this number 1
I'm
selection,
excited.
if I were to,
It's Britney Spears.
if I was
It's Hit Me,
Machine
Baby,
Gun
one more
Kelly,
Is it ICP?
if
Is it the Great Juggalo?
Elon was getting ready to take off without me and he said, you have 30 seconds to grab 10 albums, I would make sure that this one was a priority. This would be the first album that I grabbed. And it's predictable.
Rubbing my hands together.
It's predictable.
I don't know it because I've had too many beers.
Yeah, it is 10,000 Days by Tool.
Wow. That caught me off guard.
I fucking love this album
That caught me off guard.
so much.
That's regarded as one of Tool's weakest by pretentious bastards.
I don't give a shit what anybody says.
I love it.
That's
a great one.
so much.
I love it.
It never gets old to me. Vicarious John B. Just
Phipps thought it was the Stones.
the pot.
It almost was Steel Wheels.
It
Phipps.
almost was Steel Wheels. The
Lounge.
song The Pot. Name
that's
one other song in the universe that sounds like this. There isn't one.
No, not
I
that
know
sounds
of.
like that. No,
So this album is very important to me.
it's a good one. Me and you jammed the fuck out of this when
I
we
s-
worked together at New Page.
Yes, we did, and I still do.
Yeah, and you know what we jammed before that?
What?
My number 1, Tool's Lateralis.
Oh my God, that's such a good album.
We
I
jammed-
almost put Lateralis. I almost swapped the two.
Yeah, and I hate to be predictable because everyone that listens to this show knows we love Tool so much. I've never heard anything like it. It's like fucking aliens
Jeez.
created it. And 10,000 Days is basically Lateralis Part 2. And some of the best, honestly, Judith.
Oh,
Well, Judith was a Perfect Circle song,
Yeah.
but what the fuck's the song about his mom called? I've drank too much, but the one he says he wished he'd have never done that's off 10,000 Days.
Wings for Mary.
Wings for Marie, yeah.
Yeah.
Part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
To me, that might be the pinnacle of Tool.
Yeah.
But there's Lateralis. The song Lateralis in particular.
It's a perfect song. There's nothing else like it.
half our viewers just turned this shit off. Like, of course they chose that.
Yeah.
I've never heard an album like Lateralis.
Oh, it's good.
And for that matter, just to back Hicks up, Enema, whatever you want to call it, Anima, and Lateralis, and 10,000 Days, those 3 albums specifically all could have been in my top 3.
Sure.
And maybe they should have if I was being honest with myself.
Sure.
But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to pick what I thought was the pinnacle of Tool for my number 1 because that's the most influential band to me.
Sure.
Because they've been my favorite band forever.
Sure.
But I love your selection because 10,000 Days to me is underrated as fuck.
Sure.
Like people consider that to be like at the bottom of Tool's discography, but I see it as Lateralis and Anima and 10,000 Days almost tied
Sure.
right there beside it.
Sure.
And then like Fear Inoculum and Undertow and
Sure.
Opiate or
Sure.
whatever. But it's good shit, man.
Oh,
like
yeah.
those 2 albums, the fact that they were back to back, I was just blown away. Blown the fuck away. I've never heard anything like both of those albums, your number 1, my number 1,
Sure.
in my life. Aliens made that shit.
No doubt.
I've never heard sounds like that.
I haven't either.
Like it's incredible.
Yeah.
And to me, it just, there you go, Phipps. There's our Tool shit for you.
What did
We
he
didn't
say?
throw you a curveball, nothing. But earlier he was like, what did he say? I got to find it now. I fucking love Phipps.
Oh, I do too.
Let's see. I got to find his comment. I know there's awkward
Phipps
silence.
is our number 1 fan.
He said, can't wait to see the Tool ratings on here. 1 and 1. So there you go. He said, I wore that shirt yesterday from the Cincinnati show. Which shirt, Phipps? Inform us there. Another question I have for you, because
Sure.
I got tickets to Tool for next year, March. Hicks has tickets to the same show. Him and his son are going. Me and my dude Neil are going.
Sure.
How many times have we seen Tool together? Was it twice?
Twice.
So this will be my. I want to know because I didn't know if this was my 3rd Tool show
Yeah.
or my 4th. But I went with you twice.
Yes.
And I went with Rick Patrick, rest in peace, once. Love that dude. Me and him went and saw him once. So yeah, this will be time number 4. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, we saw him in Columbus and Huntington.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I remember one concert you had to piss really bad and you were trapped. You couldn't get out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Then you drank tobacco spit.
Oh yeah. Done that more times than I can think of.
I've
He
did.
said 10,000 Days show went with Chris Daniels. I remember Chris Daniels, big Pantera, vulgar display of
That
power
name
fan.
sounds familiar.
Football player, bald. Yeah, I remember Chris.
Yeah.
I think is he also rest in peace now, Phipps? I think he is. Maybe.
Okay.
But yeah, 10,000 Days show. What the 2 Tool shows we went to? Do you remember the albums? One of them was Lateralis.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Was the other one 10,000 Days? I would think it would almost have to be
Yeah. I don't know.
because whenever we were hanging out at our, whenever we worked together and we drove to work together every single day,
Yeah.
pretty sure it was Lateralis 10,000 Days era.
Yeah. I don't
think.
know. I have to go back and
I'm
look.
pretty sure.
I don't remember.
I feel like we listened to Lateralis like crazy, and then when 10,000 Days came out, we fucking Skid Packer line, we popped that shit
Oh,
in
yeah.
for a long time,
Yeah.
and then went and saw them again. So
Yeah.
come out to Phoenix and see them with me. Too late, Hicks. We got tickets for Columbus. It's a lot
Phipps.
smaller drive. Fuck going all the way to Phoenix.
I
I would
know.
like to go to Phoenix though.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
Do you get tickets, Phipps, for a Phoenix show? Fuck, you could go down and drink at his fucking wine cellars.
Oh, no shit.
That's right there in what? Scottsdale, Glendale,
I don't know.
somewhere down there. But yeah, that's I couldn't omit my favorite band of all time without the number 1 album, which I was completely honest with it. Lateralis to me, there's nothing like it. There never
it's
will
great.
be anything like it,
It's great.
except for 10,000 Days, which is really close to like it.
Yeah.
So that's I can't say that the only thing I'm surprised at is that it was 10,000 Days and not Lateralis, but it makes sense because they're so close to me too.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm sure Lateralis is right there with.
Oh,
10
it is. And
It's-
I had him, I moved him around quite a bit.
Yeah.
I almost put Lateralis as number 1.
And I hate to omit Pucifer even because
Oh, I do too.
like I like a lot of that shit, but it's not Tool. And I love A Perfect Circle, but it's not Tool. So it's like, how can you include those bands when your favorite band is, you see them as better?
Yeah, and I always struggled with it. There was one time after we saw Tool, I was talking to a guy that has a local band. I was like, man, we just went and saw Tool, and he's like, oh, they're weird. He's like, they're
Some
weird.
people hate them.
And he said, they're so weird, but he said, I like A Perfect Circle. And I thought, A Perfect
I've heard that
Circle,
before.
some of their songs are a lot more odd to me than Tool.
Yes,
From my
same.
opinion.
Same.
There's some creepy shit in there.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know about the weirdness. But
Yeah,
to
some
each
of the
their
Perfect Circle
own.
stuff is more abstract than the Tool stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like, just because it's a little different, I don't even know how to explain it. That's some otherworldly shit, too. I've never heard anything like A Perfect Circle.
No, I haven't either.
Pucifer's almost weird enough to be the statement. I've never heard anything like it, but I have heard some weird stuff like it. But yeah, to me, there's just no one has ever sounded like Tool to me.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's just a very peculiar sound, and I think that's why I like Queens of the Stone Age so much.
Oh, I do too.
I've never really heard anything like them.
I haven't either. It just, yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of smart. It sounds smart to me.
Yeah,
Tool, Queens of the Stone Age.
yeah.
Sex
It's
Pistols do not.
intricate.
Sex Pistols do not sound smart.
No, that's straightforward, kick you in the face stuff.
Yeah.
But the Tools of the world and Mastodon, you need to check out Mastodon because that gives you some weird, like, this is different.
Yeah.
It's stoner rock, but it's really different.
I struggle so much with drummers singing, and I shouldn't be stereotypical, but I saw
Most of them suck. I can't stand listening to Taylor Hawkins sing for some reason.
Yeah, I
Foo
can't either.
Fighters,
But
like,
I
love him.
I've seen some Mastodon clips of the drummer singing, and I'm like, man, I just can't. It's just something's not right, and I shouldn't be like that.
It happens though. It is weird. I mean, it is kind of strange. When
Phil
you see-
Collins was the only dude that could pull it off,
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm joking.
yeah. Taylor Hawkins can actually sing really well. I just don't like his voice that much.
Yeah,
Like he's doing something. He's in some kind of new super group with Dave Navarro and someone else. And I heard a song the other day, and I was like, I just don't like it. I just can't get
Really?
into it. Yeah, it's just I never liked Dave Navarro that
he
much.
pisses me
anyways.
off.
I don't see anything special about the guy. He's a pretty face to me.
Yeah,
I don't hear anything great. I didn't like Jane's Addiction that much either. But
they had a few songs that I liked.
yeah,
I had to be in the mood.
not a
That
fan.
Perry Farrell's voice was kind of.
yeah, just not my thing. But yeah. Speaking of that Tool show, now I got to piss. I was glad we did it. It was nice not to listen and hone in on a certain artist for fucking 10 albums.
Yeah,
It was nice to talk about shit that actually means a lot to us and always has, rather than this means a lot to me now that I've heard it at 40. It was nice to revisit shit that I grew up with and be like, what are my top 10 albums? And I'm still waiting to hear something and see one that sneaks in there.
sure.
But currently I feel good about my top 10. I just know there's stuff I'm missing.
Oh yeah, I miss.
Thanks, Phipps. He said I got to go do some
See you, buddy.
push-ups in bed with the wife. I didn't know you had a wife.
I didn't either.
Phipps has a wife?
Yeah.
Well, have fun doing push-ups. Yeah. Get some Peloton strokes in there for us.
See you, buddy.
Have a good one. Yeah. But that's it, man. We got our top 10. We got our honorable mentions. I'm sure we're going to discuss some things we overlooked as time goes on because something's going to pop up at us
Sure.
and be like, hey, motherfucker, you forgot about me.
Yeah, sure.
Forgot about Dre.
Yeah.
So something's going to do that to us. But for now, that's where we're at. We'll see what we do next time. We got to run through. You know what? Can you go on our Facebook and start talking about some of the stuff? I'm going to piss, but we got to talk real quick about the people that commented and what their favorite albums were. And fuck
Sure.
it, we'll laugh at some of them.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll just talk about Tool for a minute.
I'll
20 seconds.
I will look and see what we had. We had quite a few. Give me just a second. Oh, I'm getting a cramp. We're getting old in this place. We're going to look up Stuck in My Generation podcast. And Jeremy had a post the other day pertaining to favorite albums. Give me just a second. Let's see what he's got. What about the new Limp Bizkit song? Gosh, are we Limp Bizkit fans? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, here we go. 43 comments. Wow. That's a lot. Let me see what he's got. Where you at, Jay Barker? Man, I'm struggling with this. I can't find it.
I gotta say, man, Phipps having a wife is blowing my mind like ladder Alice
We need to
right
buy
now.
him a wedding gift.
But maybe he's been married for years.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about some of these entries here.
Maybe you can find it quicker than me.
I'll do what
I just found it. God.
See, a lot of people, I think, commented on my post.
Tupac, All Eyes on Me.
Who was that by?
Den Carter.
Denver Carter. Denver Carter went from loving rap growing up to being a fan of Florida Georgia Line.
Really?
What a shame.
Dirt, Alice in Chains.
Who was that by?
Curtis Cookson.
Oh, Kurt Cookson. That is the biggest Nirvana fan out there.
Good.
Kurt
good.
Cookson. He's Canadian.
Okay.
Canadian motherfucker.
Okay. We've got Russ Fisher, Pretty Hate Machine, Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Don't mind those at all. Did you mention Hux's The Who? Who's next?
No, man.
Couldn't get into The Who when we tried.
I tell you what, dude. I freaking love Keith Moon. He was such a good drummer. He's fucking wild. I like that type of crazy. Neil says At the Drive-In.
I like that album a lot. At the Drive-In, Relationship of Command.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a very obscure band. The lead singer turned into, have you heard of the Mars Volta?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the lead singer of the Mars Volta. His first band was At the Drive-In.
Okay, I did not know that.
It was a little more punk hardcore than weirdness of Mars Volta. It was pretty good
I'm
stuff.
going to have to check that out.
He's got Static Age by Misfits in there. We mentioned that one.
Mm-hmm.
Marilyn Manson, Antichrist Superstar. We mentioned that one. MGLA, not to be confused with MGK, Age of Excuse. I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm. I don't either.
Neurosis, Time of Grace. He likes heavy black metal. I don't know that.
Uh-huh.
And Gary Newman, Savage, Songs from a Broken World. That's a good album. Neil got me into that album. That's a good one.
Did he?
He did. Megan Miller says Epic, Faith No More. I love Faith No More.
Sure.
They didn't make my honorable mentions because I love them like I love a lot of bands, not quite up there. Tomahawk's my favorite Mike Patton project, but that's a good one. Did you know Faith No More's Angel Dust album is considered one of the best albums of the 90s?
Really?
Yeah, I've listened to it a few times, and it's good, but
Yeah.
I haven't quite got it yet. It hasn't clicked with me that
Okay.
it's that good yet.
Okay.
Who else we got?
Terry Martin, Beastie Boys, Paul's Boutique.
Fuck yeah, Terry.
He's got some Billy Strings in there.
Never really listened to Billy Strings. What is that genre? I don't even know the genre.
It's kind of hippie bluegrass.
Okay.
I really enjoy his earlier stuff.
Okay.
Not so much his recent stuff, his modern stuff. Rage Against the Machine.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Faith No More, Angel Dust. You just mentioned that.
I did. It's supposedly a great album. I've listened to it a few times. Like I said, solid. Wu-Tang Clan, 36 Chambers, one of your favorite episodes.
Man, I can't do Wu-Tang. I can't do.
Michael Bauer with Cannibal Corpse, The Bleeding. This guy lives and breathes metal. I
Okay.
don't know shit about Cannibal Corpse,
I don't
but
either.
I told him I'd try to listen to it.
Yeah.
Anything that goes, I want to fucking suck your dick. I can't listen to for some reason. Mike Copeland, my dude from Your New Best Friends podcast, a really good podcast, says Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. I know a lot of people love this, but I feel like those people are 35 and under. Like it skipped it skipped us.
Yeah.
Linkin Park, I feel like skipped us. Like I feel like we heard music that we deemed to be much better than that
Sure.
for our generation. And Linkin Park was like that new,
Yeah.
post 2000 rock that I just never quite got into.
Yeah. Ooh.
Brian Hicks, he suggested this band. I picked up some hangover accelerant. Oh, no, wait. That's about the beer we're drinking tonight.
That's the beer.
Bill Comer says, I wouldn't call it a goat. I'll say goat instead of boat.
Uh-huh.
Best of all time, maybe. Miley Cyrus's Plastic Hearts. I actually enjoyed a Miley Cyrus album back in the day called Bangers. It was the one with the whole Wrecking Ball song on it. But
Did you?
it
Yeah.
was a solid album. It
Yeah.
was kind of decent.
Yeah.
He also says Misfits' Famous Monsters,
Mhm.
Marilyn Manson Antichrist, Hollywood and Mechanical Animals, Orgy's Candy Ass. I hated Orgy back in the
Yeah,
day.
I did too.
Slipknot's Iowa. I thought that was solid.
Uh-huh.
Cattle Decapitation. Not a fucking clue there.
I don't either.
Aurelio Voltaire. Fuck, I can't say half this shit.
I think you were on the right track.
I hope so. Adam Crawford says Tupac, all eyes on me, double disc. Every song is good.
Uh-huh.
I enjoyed that back in the day.
Yeah.
Frank Sickles, so many. Rage, Cypress Hill, AC/DC, early Tool. Gonna need more time.
Yeah.
I'm more about mid Tool,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam 10 says Dave Brookins. That was mentioned. Dustin Davis,
Oh, he's got a list.
who dropped about 40 separate ones before I was like, hey, brother. Can
Oh my
you
God, he
condense it?
did.
He did, but he went through and deleted them all and made it one list, which I appreciate.
Sure.
He did Tool's Anima,
Uh-huh.
great one.
Uh-huh.
Madball Set It Off. Can't say I've heard that one. Less Than Jake Losing Streak. I have heard that one. I liked Less Than Jake growing up. Bone Thugs.
Bum, 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 bum. It's the first of the month.
So many. I just never got into them. I never got into Bone Thugs.
Cleveland.
Incubus.
I think Bone Thugs were from Cleveland.
Were they?
I think so.
A lot of good acts from Cleveland, from that area.
Yeah.
Trent Reznor being one of them.
I did not know that.
Cleveland.
Oh, Incubus.
I saw Incubus live. It was a solid show because they did Tenacious D songs on the couch with acoustic guitars.
Did they?
But
I
I can't pretend that Incubus made an album I would put in my honorable
Yeah.
mentions. Like I liked him at a certain time, but I liked ICP at a certain time too. So it
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
The Cars, no thanks.
The Cars.
Evil Empire by Rage, yep. New Bomb Turks, I didn't really jam them out much. It's a punk band. Scared Straight, Rancid, and Out Come the Wolves. I don't like Rancid. I don't know why.
I don't know anything beyond Ruby Soho.
Yeah, just not my thing. Like I had an album or two back in the day, but they never grabbed me like other punk bands did.
I put them in a category with Social Distortion.
Yeah, me
Just
too.
kinda-
Yeah,
Well, I shouldn't say that because I haven't heard a lot of Rancid.
you're right though. It's right.
That's
there
what
with
I would
Social D.
expect.
Justin Fortune says Black Crowes Southern Harmony. I just couldn't get into Black Crowes. Not my thing.
Mhm.
Black Keys Brothers. I love Black Keys.
Mhm.
Tom Petty's Wildflowers. That's a great mention.
That's a good album.
Paul Simon's Graceland. Can't say I've heard it.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones Let It Bleed. Great
Yes,
mention.
sir.
Dire Straits Brothers in Arms. We like one or two songs off that.
Mhm.
The rest of it kind of bored us to tears.
Here's an interesting one.
It
I
is.
Can't Talk. Alabama Shakes.
They're good.
I've heard like 2 songs.
They're good.
What I've heard was damn good.
They're real good. And the lead singer, her solo stuff, also pretty damn good.
Really?
Yeah. Also pretty
That's
damn
one
good.
I'm going to have to go back and listen to. Jason Isbell.
I've
Southeastern.
never listened to Jason Isbell, but I've heard so many people talk about how good he is.
This album is really good. To me, he's more of a songwriter than he is a singer. My wife
Okay.
cannot stand his voice, but he has some really good. He's written some really good songs. Just really minimal.
I've heard great things.
It's
I've
so
never, I
good.
can't say I've even heard a song. And if I have, I didn't know it.
It's so good, but his voice is kind of. I don't know. It's different.
Drive By Truckers, Decoration Day, also a suggestion from Fortune. And Pixies Doolittle. I do love me some Pixies, but they never quite cracked
Yeah.
into my top rotation, but I do love the Pixies.
I agree with that.
Bart Wiseman, local legend musically, says, here's one nobody mentioned, Black Crowes, Shake Your Moneymaker. Again, never got into him, just couldn't do it.
There's one Black Crow song that I like. I don't like anything.
Do you remember the song?
I'm gonna have to Google it.
Oh, you don't have to. Matt Robber says, I made it to G when looking through my favorite artists. Led Zeppelin's 2, solid. Tool's Anima, good deal.
Mhm.
Deftones Around the Fur, I like Deftones a lot too. Not quite in that arena for me, but I do dig the Deftones. Their newest album, Ohms, I've kind of wore out. I love that album. Soundgarden's Bad Motorfinger, Brandy Carlisle wants to be the lead singer of Soundgarden.
I want her to also.
I want her to as
Whoa,
well.
whoa, wait just a minute. I'm
Oh,
looking at this list and I see a Collective Soul.
How do you feel about Collective Soul?
Oh my gosh.
They hold a little bit of a nostalgic spot in my heart because my dad enjoyed them, and I, at the time, enjoyed them enough. But their shit wears on me pretty quick.
It was
There's a few
it was
songs.
overplayed on the radio. I just-
Yeah. Whoa!
Yeah.
Gotta let your light shine down.
That's it. Yeah.
Whoa! Yeah, it's a good song. I got sick of looking at that fucking
just
pirate on the
overplayed.
cover of their album, though. It was like a red
Yeah.
album with like a cartoon pirate with a peg leg. Stevie Ray Vaughan couldn't stand the weather. Foo Fighters, Color and Shape. Color and Shape's one of my least favorite albums. of the Foo
Jerry
Fighters.
Reed.
Don't even know who that is.
That is that's the snowman from Smokey and the Bandit,
Ah.
who was a hell of a musician, honestly.
See, this is where
He's all over the place.
he is.
Matt is.
STP Core. See, that
Yeah,
tells you
it's
he
good.
loves his music.
Yeah, he's
And
all over the place. That's
A
good.
lot of different acts there.
Yeah.
STP Core, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon,
Uh-huh.
Alice in Chains Dirt, ZZ Top Eliminator.
Yeah.
Los Hombres is my favorite by
Oh,
ZZ Top.
that
but
early ZZ Top
Eliminator's
is
okay.
good. Yeah.
Pantera, Far Beyond Driven, and one of my most on the fence artists of all time, Beck. He says, Guero, I think I listened to this album and could somewhat agree, but Beck is all over the place.
Yeah,
I have a
he
hard
is.
time with artists that do so many genres within their albums.
Yeah.
Had a hard time with Beck growing up.
Sure.
My cousin Christopher Mannering says Green Day Dookie. Me and him jammed this shit when I used to
That was
spend
a
the
good
night at his
album.
house. Great album.
Yeah.
Offspring Smash, couldn't agree more, was in my honorable mentions.
Yep.
Hootie and the Blowfish, Cracked Rear View.
Nope.
I will say that album has a lot of hits, and they really struck a chord as far as musically and people hopping on board. Congratulations to them.
Mhm.
But to me, they're Dave Matthews light.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm not a fan.
Speaking-
Not really into it.
And that kind of bleeds over into the Zach Brown band,
Yeah, not a fan.
country Dave Matthews band.
But Lenny Kravitz Circus, I enjoyed that album. I
Lenny
remember it.
Kravitz had some good songs.
He does. Pearl Jam's 10, couldn't agree more. Limp Bizkit's
Yeah.
Significant Other. I would be lying if I said I couldn't agree,
Yeah.
because we do.
Yeah.
New song Dad Vibes is solid.
It's pretty good.
It really is. Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. I almost had this in my honorable mentions. That's one of my favorite double disc albums.
Uh-huh.
But the older I get, the less I can handle Billy Corgan's whiny, fucking nasally voice.
I agree with that.
Lindsay Sterling, Shatter Me. She's the violin girl that's on a lot of. She's good. That's not bad. Ludacris, Word of Mouth. I love me some Ludacris, so I'm not going to argue on that one.
I don't know. I should know more
good
about
shit.
Ludacris.
Pretty good shit.
Yeah.
Emily says Alice Cooper, all of them, do it. Which is what? Do it. She said, start with Welcome to My Nightmare. For someone that listens to this show, you should know that we start with album number 1 on everything we do
Yeah.
and progress until the last album. Fuck Emily, come on. Robert Sprout, podcast buddy of mine, says Toadie's Rubberneck.
Mhm.
I'm with you. Fall from Grace, Covered in Scars. Never heard of the shit. MCR, The Black Parade.
Good
Obviously,
shit.
we love it.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Side of the Moon, yes. Presidents of the United States, self-titled. That's a fun one, but I wouldn't put it up there musically.
Sure.
Mad Season Above, Lane Staley's side project.
Sure.
Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Core, STP, yes. System of a Down, Toxicity. He said, I'll just leave Tool and Poos for out of the discussion because he
Yeah.
likes them like we do, I think.
Sure. Yeah.
Michael Westby. This guy is a Hollywood cameraman.
No shit.
He is. He's got pictures with a lot of celebrities. He's a
Yeah.
very good dude. I've enjoyed being friends with him on Facebook for a while.
Okay.
He says Prince, 1999. I think that's just a single, but or is that an album? I think
Prince,
it's a single.
1999. Is that off Purple Rain?
I think it is.
I think so too. Which,
So maybe he was just thinking recording. But either
Yeah.
way, nothing wrong with some Prince. You'll make fun of him, but Kanye West, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm not making fun of that. That's a great fucking album. Matchbox 20, Yourself or Someone Like You. I got to admit, when they come on, I don't turn them off. I don't love it,
Mhm.
but I don't turn Matchbox 20 off. I think that Rob, what's his name? Rob Riggle of Matchbox 20.
Was it Rob Thomas?
It's Rob Thomas instead of Rob Riggle, but I thought I'd be funny.
You know, he came on. We were listening to some just a mix the other day. My wife and I.
He's solid.
The Rob Thomas with Carlos Santana.
Oh yeah,
That song. I mean,
I
we
hate
were
that song.
both. We were both. Just kind of, we caught ourselves, and I was like, "Well,
yeah." When she says, "Hardly good enough."
Thomas.
He
he had a really hot wife, I think.
He's a good singer. Matchbox 20 is underrated. I gotta say, they're pretty solid. It's just kind of like an easy listening solid.
He's got a hot wife.
Hicks is obsessed with his wife.
Yep.
Lincoln Park Hybrid Theory. A lot of suggestions from that. Again, mostly 35 and under, so it just missed us somehow. I don't love it. Morgan Whalen from Travis, Dangerous. He's a racist. I have no interest in talking about it. And P.S. I know you'll make fun of me like you always do, but I don't skip songs on these. I'm not making fun of you on anything but Morgan Whalen. He's a fucking mulleted piece of garbage.
Fuck that guy.
I don't even think he said it in a malicious way, but I'm still just going to go with mulleted garbage on that. Mike Patterson says Led Zeppelin 4.
There you go.
Good on you. Pink Floyd The Wall. Good on you.
Yep.
Arcade Fire, The Funeral. I remembered this one and wanted to talk about this one. I love this album too. It's a crazy, weird, really good album. MCR The Black Parade. Obviously, we love it. Neutral Milk Hotel in an Aeroplane Over the Sea.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Louis Barker, my uncle, who does music.
Uh-huh.
Bryan Adams' Reckless album. Honestly, I haven't heard that one. Can't lie.
No, I'm neither.
Sean Lowe, Emily, who wants us to do Alice Cooper. That's her husband. Nightwish, Dark Passion Play. Sounds S&M-ish, but I don't know what it is.
Nightwish band.
Walter Muraski, Fantasy Football Contact. Tool, Anima, yes. White Zombie, Los Exorcisto. It's okay. I preferred Astro Creep 2000. That probably should have been in my honorable mentions because I love that album.
Yeah.
Rise Against, The Unraveling. I love everything Rise Against does. And the Siren song he has. Again, I love everything Rise Against does. Rage Against the Machine. Deftones' White Pony, yes. Black Star. I don't know about Black Star. Do you know about Black Star?
Oh my God, I have heard so much talk about Black Star.
That's a rap group, right?
That was on
Or is it not?
your mom's. That was Tom Segura and his wife. Your mom's house. They were just talking about Black Star. Yeah, it's a rap.
I thought so. It's Talib Kweli. Is that? I know he's buddies with Dave Chappelle. Most Def. I think it's Most Def.
I think it is too.
I feel like that's who it is.
Most Def, and they're from Brooklyn. And I don't mean to no disrespect Talib Kweli. I don't mean any disrespect.
Well, you just said it the same way I did.
If
so
I
we'll just go with
mispronounced that, I didn't mean it.
Those two are actually on Dave Chappelle's podcast too. Yeah, they're all buddies.
I need to find out more about them.
Midnight Miracles, the podcast. They've only done a few episodes, and it's been months since they did.
I've heard the first episode. I didn't hear it. I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, well, they haven't done much.
What about the next comment?
Porkman, my buddy Philip Simmons says, Usher Confessions. This is the one I know the least. I just can't get on board.
Yeah.
I hate R&B. I'm not a fan. Motown, yes. R&B, the offspring of Motown, no. I just can't get into it. I never have. I don't think I ever could.
Usher
I appreciate Usher's talent.
Yeah, he had one song that was just, yeah.
It was called Yeah.
And it just went on. I thought, oh my gosh, get me out of here.
Some get on the floor, and I was like, yeah.
This next comment is interesting to me.
Okay.
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes is a bad motherfucker.
Which I've gone back and done a little bit of digging with Busta Rhymes.
He's a bad man.
No shit. I didn't know.
He's a bad man.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, Busta Rhymes is fucking good.
We need to do
Sam Jones.
We'll do a Busta Rhymes deep dive one of these days.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Because Busta Rhymes is good shit.
Yeah.
Gonna listen to Busta Rhymes and we'll say yeah. Chris Deck might already be in here, but Metallica Black has to be up there. I agree with that.
I considered putting that in my honorable mentions.
Yeah, that's good.
That was a good album.
I considered mentioning that something that aged well to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think Load and Reload are really good.
I have a love-hate relationship with Load and Reload.
I used to. How long's it been since you listened to it?
It's been a while.
Try
Been
it.
a while.
Give it. Since I could say that I didn't sound like I was crying.
Yeah,
Try it. Try
I
some
will.
load and reload.
I will.
It's actually really, it aged well in
Yeah.
my opinion. I
Yeah.
think it's really good.
Okay.
Solid. Let's see. Chris House. This is a dude that I love talking music with. He's Tool, Anima, and Lateralis. Yes, we agree. Radiohead, Kid A and OK Computer. I agree with both of those. I'm a big Radiohead guy. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. Yes. Led Zeppelin 4. Yes. Nirvana, Nevermind, and Unplugged.
Good.
Yes and yes. Cypress Hill, Black Sunday.
That's interesting.
I'm not really, I honestly can say I didn't jam a lot of Cypress Hill. Carl Alcorn says, bust up, bust down something. Hell yeah. Did you listen to Cypress Hill? I really didn't.
A little bit. I mean, not beyond the hits, really. I
Not,
mean, it
not
was
beyond DJ Lethal, who is now Limp Bizkit.
yeah.
Or was that House of Pain? I think it's House of Pain.
That was House of Pain. Nothing beyond. I think the deepest I went in was like Rockstar,
Yeah.
which is like off the Tony Hawk, one of the video games. But I didn't go deep into Cypress Hill.
I didn't either. He's got Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP. Absolutely, buddy.
Sure.
Beatles, Sgt. Pepper. Obviously.
Oh, yes,
Absolutely, buddy.
Yes.
My buddy Robert Reed, I remember Instagram. He's the only comment on Instagram. He said White Album Beatles.
Sure.
Definitely.
Sure.
Back in the USSR is one of my favorite Beatles songs. And Sean Lowe, ending it on a weird note, Manowar, any album. I have no clue.
I don't either.
I hear Manowar, I think Kraft macaroni and cheese for some reason. I don't know why. Or Gwar. Do you see an article where Gwar was talking about how bad Dave Grohl fucked up by not becoming their drummer?
No, I did not see
It was
that.
a total like puff piece, like they wanted to just laugh
That's
about
what
it.
I saw when I Googled Manowar.
What the shit?
Yeah, that is some.
That is some Eye of the Tiger
Clash of the
70s
Titans.
porn shit. What, Sean Lowe, have you made us look at? Manowar, oiled up beefcakes. Can't do it. I can't listen to him just because of the picture. I can't listen to Manowar. That's too weird.
Oh my god, dude.
Should we play a Manowar song?
Yeah.
I just fucked up the whole stream.
That's all right.
Guess what? At the risk of copyright infringement,
Yeah.
we're going to jam some Manowar. What are they wearing?
I don't know.
Loincloths. Oh my God.
Oh.
Here we go.
Okay, let's see what's going on.
Manowar YouTube. We'll end the show right after this. War of the World seems to be a big deal. Let's do it. Manowar. We will wear loincloths. Oiled up breastises and abs. Oh boy. Come on, for fuck's sakes. Is that Thor's hammer on the album cover?
I don't know.
Why is there so many different country flags?
There are quite a few, aren't there?
There are.
They're not going to sing.
That's what I need to make the decision for me. I need to hear the vocalist.
Yeah, I do too.
Because if it's like,
That's what it's going to be.
this is epic. I feel like this should be in like Lord of the Rings as they're marching towards the Eye of Sauron, getting ready to delve into the volcano to fight the beast.
Fucking sing.
Do it. I feel like it's coming. I feel like I'm going to climax when it happens. Oh my. Oh boy.
This is what I expect Alice Cooper to sound like.
It's a 5-minute song. Should I just skip ahead a little?
Yeah.
Power. Ronnie James Dio. Can't do it.
No, I can't either.
Can't do it. I appreciate suggestions and I love that people have their own things, but I can't do anything that has an 80s wail to it
Yeah.
or an 80s voice, an 80s. Can't do it. I cannot get past just the vision of pink blush and eyeliner
Yeah.
and teased hair.
Glam rock.
I can't handle it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm glad that people can.
Yeah.
I've seen Def Leppard's Hysteria regarded as one of the best albums ever. And I kind of understand because to me, if there is a pinnacle of hair metal, it is actually Def Leppard.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it a little, but it doesn't mean I like it. I just can't get on board.
Yeah.
For a second, the music was okay, though. The chugging. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. And then he's like, meow, I sound like a cat. I'm not down with that.
It's like Tenacious D making fun of that type of.
Correct.
That's
Correct.
Yeah.
But Tenacious D's the shit.
Yeah.
I almost put their self-titled in my honorable mention.
Did you?
It's a good album.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a tribute the other day to all their fans that did a parody of their song Tribute.
Oh, really?
This, the best song in the world. I'll eat your soul.
I tell you what, Jack Black's a talented motherfucker.
He is.
He really
And
is.
Dave Grohl played drums on that album.
Did he really?
He
I
did.
did not know that.
Yeah.
God.
Dave Grohl's technically Tenacious D's drummer.
No shit. I did
Yeah.
not know that.
And when you listen to it, you can hear it because he's hitting those drums hard as fuck.
Really?
Thanks for doing this with us, folks.
That's right.
It was kind of fun.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's nice to just talk about the shit we already know we like.
Sure.
And somehow, some way, there's still people viewing.
Well,
You motherfuckers need a life.
I
I'll tell you
appreciate
that.
the shit out of that.
No, I do too.
Yeah.
I don't know why you'd want to look at us talking about music, but I do appreciate it.
Yeah.
If we were talking about porn, I'd expect a lot more people.
Yeah.
Yet, we're talking about Tool.
Who's going to be next? We're going to have to talk about that and get that figured out.
We'll get it figured
Okay.
out. We'll announce it. Like I said, my pal Emily wants us to do Alice Cooper, but man, if it is 18, 15, 12 albums deep, which I know it's at least.
I'm going to guess 28.
It's double digits. I know that.
I'm going to guess 28.
That's a lot of work.
That's just a
That's a
just
lot of
a
work.
guess.
If it is that big, we will do. Emily, you just suggest Alice Cooper's best albums, and for once, we will just do that. We'll just check out the best albums and come with an episode.
Did she just do that? Did she just say that?
She
Say
will.
that.
She will, because she told us where to start. Hiccups. But yeah, give us the best albums. We'll just do that. If it's more than 10, I can't do 10 plus anymore.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
Unless it's a big, which I think we've gotten through most of the big.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know if there's any artist worth sinking that much time
Oh
into.
my God, dude. Guess how many studio albums?
Was it 28?
It's fucking 28.
No!
It's 28.
We'll do 5. Emily, give us the 5. The 5 best Alice Cooper albums, and we'll do that. Because I am curious. All I know is the shit on Wayne's World.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
School's Out for Summer. I don't know much beyond that.
Yeah.
Detroit Stories was his biggest seller.
Yeah. That's all I got, man. I can't do more than 5. Can't do it.
Oh my God, he just released an album.
Alice Cooper did?
Per Google, that's what it says.
Well, alrighty.
He's going to be in Kentucky here pretty soon.
Is what it is.
Yep.
All right. Well, if she gives us those Alice Cooper jams, we'll give it a shot.
I most definitely would.
We'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the comments on the thread in Facebook about this episode.
A lot of interaction.
Yeah, a lot of interaction. We
good.
appreciate that. That makes the episodes better.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. 2 Tool fans unsurprisingly, listing their number one albums as 2 albums is what it is. We love them unapologetically. We're going to see them in March. Fuck everything else except for Paul's Boutique.
That's right.
See you next time.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Stuck in My Generation. Again, if you want to suggest bands for us to listen to, send it over to stuckinmygeneration@gmail.com.